Hey everyone, you're listening to InfoQuench with Jeff.
And Amy. We're chatting about how to get the most out of life.
And covering a ton of interesting topics.
So there's sure to be something.
For just about everyone. Let's get to it. Hey everybody, and welcome to InfoQuench. I'm your host, Jeff.
And I'm Amy, and this episode we're going to be talking about summer classics.
Summer classics.
And summer stuff, and just a bunch of stuff.
Just basically a summer-centric episode.
Well, sort of. There'll be some summer sprinkled in, and then just a whole lot of other things that I made notes on that I thought we could chat about. Here's an interesting little tidbit that I came across from a very credible source known as the Weather Channel.
Ah, the Weather Channel.
It's funny. I figure that they're credible in terms of weather history, but in terms of forecasting the weather, maybe not so much. But
maybe not.
We recently had our summer solstice. It was June 20th is when we had summer solstice here in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. And according to the Weather Channel, it was the earliest it had ever been in over 200 years. And that's even taking into consideration that there was no daylight savings time back in 1796, which is how far you have to go back to find an earlier summer solstice.
It's funny, I always thought the summer solstice, no matter what, fell on the 21st, June 21st. But it doesn't. That's not always the case, right? You explained that to me.
Correct. That is correct.
Because it was earlier this year than the year before. Is that right?
Yeah, it will fluctuates. It sometimes, often it's on the 21st or the 22nd, but I think the 21st was always what I thought it was growing up.
Yeah.
I love that whenever something is like extreme, like this is only going to happen every 200 years or however long, we all get like super excited about it. We love things that are rare.
And it's also the longest day of the year, correct?
Yes. Anyway, let's talk about some fun summer stuff. I actually went through a bucket list on bucketlistjourney.net because I just love bucket lists, and they had a summer one. And I just want to talk about some of the really crappy summer items that they had on there, and a couple of good ones too. I'm reading through the list, and one of the things was things to do this summer was get a tattoo. Get a tattoo?
They were what if you're 80 and you're enjoying the summer?
All the more reason to get it. When I'm 80, I am tatting up because there is no worry of, I've got to live with this for another, I don't know how many years. I
mean, that's a bumpy road, though, like tatting up at 80.
Yeah,
your skin's going to be...
The tattoo artist might need to use a little duct tape to stretch out the skin to get the artwork just right. But you could work with it, though. Work the wrinkles right into the design.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I thought when I was reading the bucket list, I think it was 100 items that they had to have on the list, or somebody predetermined. So I can imagine that the author was really struggling when they put get a tattoo on the list for summer items.
I need one more thing for the list. What's it going to be? Hey, how about getting a tattoo? Doesn't matter. I don't know why they're from New York, and they're in the mob.
You're just like, Mom and Dad, I had to get it. It was on the bucket list. I had to get the tattoo. Another thing was to feed the ducks. And I'm like, no, don't feed the ducks.
Well, you can feed the ducks. You just have to feed them the proper food.
But nobody will.
People feed them bread, and it's the worst thing for them.
I know. Don't feed ducks bread. It has no nutritional value for them. It can make them really sick. It just explodes and fills up their bellies, and all things bad. They seem like they love it. I know that they're waddling on over. They want that bread.
No, the pigeons are just jerks, so just serve them bread. It's all good. Not the ducks, though. Not the geese.
No, I don't know what the geese eat. They're too busy attacking us and pooping all over the place. We were on the golf course today, and the amount of goose poop was a lot. It was a lot to handle.
Very much like human poop, I find.
It was pretty big. At least like cat size.
Yeah, cat size. Yeah, that's right. Cat poop, not human. I actually don't even really... I mean, I don't see much human poop out on the golf course, so... Thank God. That would be bad.
I
Imagine that as a rating. Like if you were
I had to
like,
completely turn away from the mic. I thought you were just gonna say I don't normally see a lot of human poop because I just never looked in the toilet ever in my entire life.
yeah,
This went downhill fast. I was thankful though that the goose poop was on the first few holes because it was like that's a long time for it to wear off our sneakers and our pull carts because the tires of that pull cart. I'm glad it was a rental.
Yeah.
They were caked with
yeah.
yeah.
Good old caked in poop.
Caked in poop. Another item they had was to have beach bonfires, and you mentioned this to me recently. You're
It's
like,
such an easy thing to do.
Is it really easy?
Yes,
though?
it's super easy. It's just the planning, a little bit of planning to get it done.
Well,
That's it.
therein when there's planning, it's never super.
There's not really that much planning though.
You have to get the wood.
Yeah, that's it.
You have to have a beach.
Maybe get some marshmallows if you want to do that.
I
And
just
then
feel like
bring some
bonfires are
chairs.
just incredibly overrated.
Oh, they're fun.
Yeah,
Do it
they
with
make-
a bunch of friends.
Everything stinks, afterward. It's
Yeah,
like
you burn those clothes and then you just move on.
sometimes
with
you
life.
burn them while you're at the bonfire.
That's right.
But I find like when you go to the beach, you're already dealing with the mess of the sand. And I'll do that. If you're going for a good trip at the beach, you go through the whole, I got to desand my feet at the end of the beach day and try to get my shoes back on and try to keep the sand out of the car. But couple that now with the smell of bonfire and
What would life be like though, honey, if we only did things that were easy to do?
glorious. Life would be glorious.
Glorious.
Sand-free, smoke-free. Another item on the list was to compete
To compete, I'm already out.
to compete in a food eating competition.
Food eating competition? That is on the summer bucket list?
Yes.
Like, no.
All I could think about was Stand By Me's Barfarama when they do that scene in the movie Stand By Me and they're doing a pie eating contest.
Oh, yes.
Do you know what I'm talking? Like
I do
Gordy's
remember
telling
this.
the story.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, is this a thing that's still happening? I know it's happening
It's not
somewhere.
exactly a family event.
At
Like,
county
you're not
fairs
gonna-
and people are downing hot dogs, throwing them down their gizzard with glasses of water. And
That does not sound fun to me, though, at all. I would rather just have a food enjoying contest. Who can enjoy their food the most, not eat it the quickest? You know? Like,
how would we
doesn't that-
measure your enjoyment to find out if you're the winner?
Doesn't that sound so much more
Yeah.
relatable, even?
There were some good things. One thing on here was to...
We're not all Joey Chestnut. Do you know who Joey Chestnut is?
Is that the pizza guy?
No, he's the hot dog guy. I don't even know how many hot dogs he ate, but maybe we'll use him as one of our...
Is he like a Guinness Book of
Advertisements.
World Records hot dog guy?
Oh, yeah. He
Okay.
is the world champ.
I was thinking,
And there was all this controversy last year because he got sponsored by some veggie hot dog company, and they were like, "You're out," or something like that, something along those lines. Don't quote me on that. He was banned.
why couldn't the hot dogs be vegetarian? The hot dog purists?
Yeah, hot dog purist. That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah.
Well, one of the suggestions around fruit that I actually liked from this list was just to try grilled fruit on the
fruit.
barbecue. So like when you're
Like-
done, well, I guess you'd probably clean it off after.
Pineapple.
But yeah, pineapple, peaches, slices of apple, and then so you grill them and then you top them with some vanilla ice cream. Well, you take them off the barbecue first.
Yeah.
Then you add the ice cream.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to.
Or the whipped cream.
Yeah. Or I think maple syrup would be good too.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
I thought that was kind of a neat, like if you're doing a barbecue, you can end off the barbecue with another grilled item and throw whatever fruit you have.
First, you need a barbecue, though. We don't even have one of those. We don't have a barbecue.
No, yeah. And
it would be
then
nice to
we
have
could do
one.
it over a beach bonfire, but we don't
Yeah.
have a beach or
Just bring a grill
wood.
from our oven. Put it on the
It's
fire.
been done. I
yeah.
have seen it
I've
at
seen it
Miss
done.
Peck, which is a local beach here
Yeah.
in St. John. People do everything. They
Mhm.
are innovative. Homemade popsicles. Do you remember homemade popsicles?
I do.
That's not something that people seem to do as much anymore. Well, I guess we don't do it, but we don't have room in our freezer. And I always feel like if we did it, they would just spill before we got them frozen.
I'm not even really sure how to make them.
I think you just
Okay.
You don't.
Go on.
How could you not know how to make them?
Oh, yeah, I know it's ice. I know you freeze crap. But, like, how do you get the flavoring in there? Like, what flavoring do you use?
You use like Kool-Aid or juice or.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right.
That sounds pretty easy then.
Well, we had like the fancy popsicle maker holder Tupperware things or whatever. I mean, you can make them with a
You just
regular
put a stick
cup
in
and
there?
like a popsicle stick, but the popsicle stick always falls to the side. And we made lemonade ones; those were good.
Oh, yeah.
They were good. So yeah, if you're feeling nostalgic, listeners, maybe making some homemade popsicles if you can figure out the very complicated recipe.
Make them and then have a barbecue. And then get a tattoo.
They
Do all the things in one night.
They listed taking a nap in a hammock. Hammocks, I also feel, are overrated.
Well, I enjoy hammocks. I find, though, that every time I get all nice and comfy in a hammock, something wants to kill me. Some kind of bee will sting me or something.
Well, I find it really hard just to even get into the hammock and also be actually comfortable. And
That's an art form.
yeah, I don't know. I've just never experienced a good hammock in my life. And time's
Yeah.
running out. Maybe
It's
this is the summer.
It's all just technique. Do you have technique? Do you have technique when it comes to getting into a hammock?
It would appear not.
Okay.
It would appear not.
You sit in the middle and then you just swing your legs up.
I always feel like I'm off center. I'm either like my butt's not centered.
Here's
or...
a tip: you won't be off center if you sit your butt in the middle of the hammock. Then you swing your legs. It's the only one way to do it. There's only.
So you know how to get in a hammock, but you don't know how to make popsicles?
I do now. So
All right.
I've never made them before. So I was just wondering what you used for flavoring. Like if you made your own concoction or you just... So using juice is so easy. It's like...
I know. Well, is anyone drinking Kool-Aid anymore?
I don't know. I'm not.
Is it in the grocery store? I mean, I don't usually go.
You mean like the little packets, like the powder
Yeah.
packets and stuff? I don't know. I think it comes
Just
in...
add water.
I think it comes in big cans of it now.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But you can buy the frozen juice, like concentrated frozen juice
Yes.
in the cans.
Oh, the pink lemonade.
Yeah.
Oh, my mouth's
And the
watering
fruit-
thinking about that.
And the fruit punch.
Listeners, I have a hack that I discovered, but I was skeptical, but I'm like, I'm just going to try it and see if I ruin my toaster. And I didn't ruin the toaster. I put a veggie patty, so I eat frozen vegetable hamburgers, which I guess are veggie patties, not hamburgers. And I put it straight into the toaster, frozen, and cooked it that way. And it held up because it went...
It's okay if you would have wrecked the toaster because it's from the 1970s anyway. So,
Well, so I thought it was worth a try. But if you're looking just to cook up a veggie patty and you don't want to get it out the frying pan or anything, you can throw it, as long as it's frozen, because it has to cook quickly. And then I actually ended up putting it down, I think, about 3 times. It didn't smoke or anything, though, and
you
it
can
held
set
together.
it on
You have
bagel, and it'll cook.
we have
longer.
a bagel setting on our thing?
Yeah, it's just a button, hun. It's been there since the 70s.
What?
Yeah,
I saw the dial from, like, with the numbers on it.
there's
One-
a bagel button. You just press it.
Are you
and
sure you don't just turn the number up to a higher number?
No, it's
of
just
darkness?
a button that says bagel,
Oh.
BAGEL, and you press it. And
Wait, how is that spelled again?
And then it just cooks it as long as you would need a bagel to be cooked, so it cooks longer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, now it'll be bagel/veggie patty.
There you go. Yeah.
So the next time you want to do a veggie burger, give that a try. Now, it depends on what veggie burger. I was using a Dr. Oetker's. I don't know if that's how you say it, but if you eat them, you know what I mean. And some hold together better than others. And then unplug that toaster before you jam the fork in it to get
Did you have to do that?
I did, because I did the lift button, but the patty was just a little bit too short, so I did have to use I just took the little tines of the fork and just picked the edge just to lift it up enough to get it out of the toaster.
Other chunks of veggie burger?
No, not at
the
all.
bottom?
It all held together.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I did. I've done it multiple times now, and you've noticed that it hasn't been smoking or anything like that.
You can probably heat up pizza too.
You can just throw everything in there.
Just throw it all in there.
So yeah, it worked. I feel like that's brilliant. It's less brilliant than my discovery of Marmite, which I've recently come to love. And it all happened because I was ordering something from Amazon. Well, let's go back, shall we? We brought our car in for servicing and got a quote from our car dealership for way too much money, which we just refused to believe was true.
And we were right. We
And
saved
we were right.
$1,000 by going to somebody else.
Yes, we did. And so, yes, it was good to trust our gut.
Absolutely.
But one of the things they quoted us on was to change our cabin air filter, which I guess is something you should do more often than we have done because it was really, really dirty. And so someone said, you know what, you don't need a mechanic to do that. You just order them from Amazon, look it up with your make and model of your car. And that's what we did. It was what, $20?
I can't remember how much it was now.
And it depends on your car, but you watch the video to see how easy it is to basically swap it out. For
Goes in
ours,
through the glove compartment.
in our car, it goes, so, and I think
I put it in there today, but then I couldn't get it back together.
then
That's where you came in.
Then the whole glove compartment was in the back seat.
Yeah. I got too frustrated. I'm like, I can't. And then you came out and did it in like 2 minutes. But you're the puzzle person.
Well,
It was a puzzle for me.
it was so satisfying to change our own cabin air filter. So Jeff and I are not handy. We are
No.
very aware of that. But this is something that we did and saved ourselves. I don't know. The quote was close to $100 when you put in labor and everything. So
Yeah, we saved ourselves $75.
not to
probably.
mention the satisfaction. Not to also mention the satisfaction of seeing how dirty the previous filter was, which was...
Yeah, there were leaves in there, and
I don't even know how that happens. I really
There was a
don't know what it
t-shirt in
does.
there.
I assume it's filtering the cabin air based on the
Yeah.
name. But
yeah, I don't understand either. I really don't. I don't know how it got to our glove compartment even. Like that's, huh? I don't understand how. I mean, it goes in through the vents, obviously, in the dash, right? That's where.
I think so.
And then it's
There's
filters.
a lot I don't know about how our car works.
And then it filters through that cabin air filter, and catches everything.
I'm not...
Got a brand new one in there now, and we were breathing so lightly, like it barely took anything to breathe. Like it was amazing.
I know. Just think of the filth we'd been breathing in before we changed that filter. I know a lot of things about a lot of things, but there are even more things that I know very little about. And one of those things is how cars work. So sometimes
Same.
you have to go to a mechanic and trust them. And that's hard. It's hard when you go in and you don't know and they have you,
Yeah.
I guess, over a barrel in terms of just being like, you need to replace this and this thing will kill you and your family if you don't get it replaced straight away.
I know
It's hard to argue that when you don't really understand the ins and outs of the car.
It's funny when they give you the report back about what's wrong with your car. It's always like, this is critical. If you don't get this fixed,
You and your family will
something-
die
yeah.
tomorrow.
And it's like, and then we're like, okay, yeah, we'll get it fixed. And it's been about a month now. So like we've been driving around in a critical car. I mean,
Yeah, we just really put that out in the universe, so I hope I get our car fixed fast. I want to complain about my smartwatch because I've been getting very aggressive messages from it lately. I don't know why. It just seemed... I didn't change settings, but
is it like telling you to do something with your life?
It'll be like... Well, in not so many words. It'll say like, get moving or...
Get moving.
Get up and stretch. And I'm like, I'm at work. I'm at my desk. This is what I do. And I wonder if it's because we took a trip and we were active during times when I wasn't normally. You know how like at Christmas time when you eat a lot and then all of a sudden Christmas vacation's over and you're a lot hungrier than you had been before Christmas because your body's like, oh yeah, I'm used to getting food.
Well, what about what it did to you
continuously."
today? We went golfing for 3.5 hours and
you
got home
I was
and it was like, get up, get moving.
I did like 10,000 steps before we even hit the golf course, and it was as soon as I got home, it told me to get moving. And I thought, relax, watch.
Yeah,
I
give
gotta
me
get
a
in there.
break.
And I also felt a little guilty.
Don't make me throw you against the wall.
So I've got to make some adjustments. I wonder if other people out there have smartwatches that give them guilt at times.
I've realized, after getting a wonderful smartwatch for, what was it, my birthday? I think it was my birthday. I don't like
you mean
things.
when you bought it and said it was for something?
Yeah, was that what I did? I didn't.
That's
I don't.
okay.
I don't
I'd
like
save me
anything.
buying a birthday gift.
I don't like anything on my wrist.
So what? It,
Like,
so
like
that
I can't wear it. I don't think.
you're not gonna wear that Apple Watch?
I don't think so. I don't think I can wear it. I don't enjoy having something on my wrist like that.
You don't enjoy it?
No, I hate it. Actually,
You should
I
be in
hate the
a
feeling of it.
wrist wearing
I
enjoyment
can't.
contest.
I literally can't wait to take it off as soon as I put it on. I can't wait. Yeah. So what's the point in putting it on anymore?
Did you hear about the airline employee who got caught with somebody's luggage in their home?
I did. I
Because-
read the whole story. It's crazy the way that all happened. Yeah, there was like an airport employee who was stealing luggage and bringing it to their home, and they had like hundreds of like, suitcases there, and somebody had an air tag in one of them, traced it there, and then called the police, and then they broke in and they found and he was charged. Like each one's a felony. So
when I heard this, and we talked about air tags last episode, but the first thing I thought was not, oh, this is horrible that this airline employee is stealing everybody's luggage. And it is horrible. But I thought, how are you not smarter about how you're doing it? Like, okay, you're doing it, you're like hundreds of them, and you don't know that people track them. And why are you keeping the suitcase? Like, why wouldn't you dump the contents and ditch the suitcase?
maybe he was taking so many though that was just his inventory at that time. Maybe he does have like a big, landfill of people's, suitcases. I don't know. That's pretty bold though. Like that's.
The neighbors would be like,
How did?
this guy works for an airline. He has all these suitcases at
Well,
his house.
I'm wondering
and
about
they
his
report him.
coworkers. We're leaving with another suitcase today, buddy. Oh, geez, that's weird. And the next day, oh, another one. Oh,
They're not exactly
strange.
easy things to sneak out.
Yeah.
Like
Don't know how he got away with
loading
it.
them
Really.
into the trunk. I mean, it's a chore when you're loading your own luggage to go on
Yeah.
vacation, let alone stealing it. So I'm just blown away that he would leave everything intact, and including an air tag, and get caught that way. Was it a he? Maybe it was a she.
I think it was a he. Yeah.
Well, either way, bad technique.
Yeah.
Airline employee, if you're stealing luggage, find a better way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just.
Like, I think you should go into like a back room and then have maybe a garbage bag, and then just dump the contents into the garbage bag, and then put like the empty suitcase back with all the other luggage.
Oh, you could just have like a.
And then there'd be a bunch of empty suit. Imagine if someone just picked up their bag at the baggage carousel and it was like empty.
You could, yeah, I know. You could just have an assembly line. If you really wanted to do it right, you would have somebody stealing the suitcases, bringing them to a place, scanning them for any air tags, getting rid of that, and then going through, taking all the valuable things, and then another person to get rid of all the suitcases.
See, you've got too many people in on it. It's got to be a one-man show. As soon as you bring other people in,
it's a lot of work for one person.
They're gonna rat you out.
It's a lot of work.
No, just do it a little. You're there. You're working there for
But that's
how
all
long?
you do, I guess, as a crime. It's the only crime you do. Sure.
The only crime, a felony. I have too much guilt. People would see it on my face straight away. I don't think we mentioned this last time, but they take allergies incredibly seriously in the UK.
Yeah, they really do because, someone died. They were told that something wasn't in something, ate it, died, and then they sued the government, and the government had to like basically do all the right things. They have to give like a list of things that are in all of their food.
It's in Canada here. We have obviously ingredients are listed on our products, and then there'll be a section of contains and may contains that really highlight allergens or common allergens. But we've got Domino's in Paris because
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad, but we did.
we did. Yeah, we did it. That's what we did.
I will
it was
say
close to our Airbnb.
The pizza the Domino's pizza in Paris is better than here.
And it was cheap.
Yeah,
Because they had
it was
all
really
these little
cheap.
Domino's bicycles, and if you walked in to get it, because that's what we did as tourists, we just were like, oh, we see a Domino's sign, we're just going to walk in. They're like, we'll give you a discount because we don't have to deliver it with our bicycles.
Yeah.
And we asked if there was anything, odd in them, because, I don't know, we're in a different country. Maybe Domino's put some kind of allergen in it that we weren't aware of. And they gave us a whole little pamphlet of
Everything that's in
allergen.
everything.
And I was really impressed. And then we were at an airport in the UK, and we walked into the restaurant. And the first question that the server asked us is, does anybody have any allergies? And I thought to myself first, I thought, oh, how nice that's how they start off. And I'm like, yes, actually, we do have somebody with allergies. And she said, oh, we can't serve you.
Because they didn't have the big list. They didn't have
Yeah,
the
their
books.
electronics were down and they only had
Yeah.
it electronically. And then we went to another restaurant in that same airport and they brought out a whole binder and made me read through something and acknowledge.
And then sign something.
Sign
too, right?
something too. Yes, it was very thorough. I was impressed. And although the woman was really quite rude in how she
They only do it
refused
though
service,
because they have to.
it was, yeah, but she didn't have to do it that way.
No, I'm saying they only ask for the allergies because they have to.
Oh, okay.
So I'm impressed too, but they have to do it.
I'm impressed that the country's put the law in
Yeah.
to do that because it did make us feel very safe that way. But I mean, can you imagine just walking into it and they're like, "I'm sorry, we cannot serve you." I'm
Yeah.
like, and there really wasn't a huge explanation or even a provide any options.
Well, they weren't really courteous at all. They were actually quite rude, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I got to circle back to Marmite because I went off on the cabin air filter.
Oh,
The
yeah.
whole reason that
Oh, you did.
Marmite came into our home is because I went on Amazon basically to order the cabin air filter, and I was like, I can't just order one thing because it's kind of a pain in the butt to get an Amazon order. Let's face it, 'cause it's just when they deliver and where they're going to leave it and all this. Anyways, it's a pain. So I'm like, I need to get at least one other thing, and I was like, I've always wanted to try Vegemite. So then I looked up the price of Vegemite. It was really expensive.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, it was like
Much more than Marmite?
Yeah, I feel like it was like $40. I didn't look at the size of the bottle, but it was like the one size
I still
found.
haven't even tried the Marmite.
So I was like, well, Vegemite's a little much, probably because it was coming all the way from Australia, but I assume it was from the song.
Yeah,
What's that song? Something Vegemite sandwich?
Men Without Hats, or is that what it is?
Or Down
Men at
Under,
Work?
or Land Down Under.
Yeah, Land Down Under.
And so I went with the Vegemite's cheaper cousin, which is Marmite, which is from the UK.
It's
And-
everywhere here.
And it's like a byproduct of like brewing beer, and I went down a little rabbit hole of it. I guess there was a shortage during the pandemic, and so I bought a little jar of Marmite, and then I brought it to a gathering that our friends had, and I said, "Does anybody want to try Marmite with me?" Nobody, no takers.
Did they all try it before?
They're like, "You brought Marmite? This is the thing you brought?" Because I'm just not great at.
Where
knowing
did you
what to
bring Marmite?
To Andre and Janelle's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Nobody wanted to try it.
Yeah.
They smelled it.
And then they didn't want to try it.
And then someone said it smelled beefy, almost like oxal cubes. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try that on some tofu. And I even tried it on veggie patties after they go in the toaster, not before.
Yeah,
And now I have like a Marmite addiction.
you do.
I do. Well, I mean,
You
if the
like
whole
it.
country pretty much likes it, there's got to be something to it. I think it's
Yeah.
high in sodium, and I love salt.
You do.
I can afford to because I have low blood pressure. In case listeners, you were curious and you were worried about my blood pressure.
There you go.
Yeah, so I would say if someone said, "Will I like Marmite?" I would tell them, "No, you won't," but I do. Because I'm weird that way. I like weird things.
Yeah.
And I become obsessed with them, and then that's all I eat. So now I'm almost through my little jar of Marmite.
Are you almost through it? Wow.
Yeah, well, about 2/3, and it's not that old.
Huh.
So we're going to have to buy some
And
more.
they only come in one jar size. And that's small. Because
It's-
they don't think people are going to eat it that much.
It's almost like a beefy molasses
Okay.
with a yeasty aftertaste.
It sounds so appetizing. Man, I'm going to put that on everything.
I put that stuff
You're
on
gonna
everything.
put that stuff on so much that you're gonna start to acquire a British accent.
You know what I'm getting tired of are all the new sports. I was reading about a new sport called, I think it's pronounced paddle or padel, and it's a sport that is sort of like squash and pickleball,
Right.
and it's
You're in
I
the-
don't know how
you're in
long
the
it's been
room.
around, but it's becoming trendy, and I'm like, okay, can we all just get a grip on how many different sports and equipment and memberships and courts and fees and things we need to buy, because there's disc golf.
I love disc golf.
Well, Yes, tell me more about the disc golf.
I only tried it once, but I loved it. I only did 9 holes, and it was a blast. It's really fun.
Yeah.
You'd probably like it too. And I don't know what you're gaining by dissing new sports. I don't get it.
I'm just saying, like it's a little much when all of a sudden
You don't have to do them.
there's another new sport, and then you've got to get all the equipment. It seems like we have to do them. It seems like we are doing all of the new sports.
Well, you haven't done paddle. You probably won't, because now you hate it. I mean, disc golf though is very cheap.
Hey, you get them at what, Canadian Tire?
Yeah.
And the course is free. You just show up and do it, right?
Yeah, course is free, and you can just drive over there.
We have a course here in St. John, New Brunswick. I don't know if disc golf is a thing everywhere, but it's basically like you throw
popular.
frisbees into nets. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, chain link kind of nets.
I can barely throw a frisbee in the vicinity of a person who's supposed to catch it. I don't know if I can get it into a net.
You try to get used to it, you know? Yeah, it's fun.
All right.
Just get a little bit better each time.
Well, that's usually the goal.
Like my freak day today golfing.
Yeah, you were.
I was parring every hole. I couldn't believe it.
It was impressive.
I almost got a birdie, like very close. Anyway,
it was an executive course of par 3s, but
yeah, it was.
But still,
yeah.
I want to talk talking about summer. We're going through a little bit of a heat wave here, and I think it's actually in a lot of areas around North America at the moment. But you ever notice that we call all different types of ice cube shapes ice cubes? Like ice cubes can be circles or squares or rectangles. I think the only time we use a different name is like ice chips. But they're not all cubes. And cubes, I think, kind of worked pretty well. I don't know why we feel like we have to mess with the standard ice cube shape. Like my parents have an ice maker that makes half moon ice cubes, and they're ridiculous because they lay against the edge of the glass perfectly so that water doesn't flow past them, and then they just give way all of a sudden. So I have a problem with...
You got some interesting gripes this podcast.
Why are we...
New sports, ice cubes.
Well, I just don't know why we have to deviate from that.
You mean like you want to call them the shape that they are?
Well,
is that what you mean?
Why can't we just stick with cubes?
Like I thought we
general.
did.
No, but they make them in all different shapes. There's like ones for
still
scotch.
call the ones that are oddly shaped though ice cubes.
I know.
Yeah.
That's problematic for me.
How come?
Because they're not cubes.
So you should just call ice cubes by whatever shape they are.
Yeah, or just not even have the other shapes. That's what I'm thinking. Because why do we need all those other shapes?
Probably because people are making machines that make those shapes.
I know. Well, they're choking hazards. A lot of them.
Ice?
Did I ever tell you about the Ponderosa
won't
story
kill you.
when I was a kid?
Do
you remember the Ponderosa?
No.
It's an old restaurant we used to have here in St. John.
Oh, I remember I don't remember your story, but I mean.
It was a buffet style restaurant. We'd always worry about the cleanliness of buffets, as one should. I've moved away from my buffet era, but they were big in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I remember watching this. Well, actually, I remember watching my mother's face watching them fill the ice into the pop machine at the Ponderosa. And she said, I never really thought about how they put the ice in there. And I looked over, and there was 2 guys. One guy was like up on a ladder, and then another guy was standing beside him dumping ice. And the first guy was from a bucket, and the guy was funneling it into the machine with his hands. Basically just had his arms and his hands creating a little chute or funnel to direct the ice down. So basically every single ice cube going into the machine was running the length of his arms and his hands. And I thought, I have a long list of things I like to worry about in terms of cleanliness. How the ice got into that machine was not one of them. Now, I suspect probably many years ago, machines make their own ice.
Yeah.
But back then, or maybe just that day, it was broken. But either way, those 2 guys were basically manhandling the ice.
They were told to do it that way. It's hard to blame them.
No,
you're
but
right.
I didn't have ice in my drink that day.
No.
Are you ever unsure of what the word means?
What?
I find more and more, like, Hux will ask me what a word means. He'll be like, what does that mean? And I'll explain it, and then I'll be like, does it mean what I think it means? Not like, like the Princess Bride, when he talks about inconceivable, and he's like, I do not think that word means what you think it means.
Oh, yeah.
You say that word, so anyway. But I find that I question sometimes whether the word means what I thought it meant my whole life.
Yeah.
And then so sometimes now I'm randomly writing an email, and I'll use a word, and I'll be like, what does that mean what I think it means? And then I have to go Google it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe it doesn't. And it usually does. It usually does. But
I find that's one thing that I think we are more aware of as we get older is word origins. Because you will basically say a word, and then you'll say, okay, well, how did we get to basically? Like, how does that, why is it called that? Why does that word mean that? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Basically.
Etymology is fascinating. But I think like when your kids are asking you about what it means,
I just
like
tell
an
them
extra
to
level.
ask you. I just say ask your
I know,
mother.
and that's a lot of responsibility, because if I give him the wrong definition, he's going to use that word incorrectly for the rest of his life.
My two answers for him is ask your mother or that's a job for Google. Well, those are the two things he hears most from me.
I'm going to go back to Amazon one more time, because I debated when I was ordering the cabin filter to also get some more Jamaican jerk seasoning, because I bought Jamaican jerk seasoning at the airport in Jamaica that was really, really awesome.
Are we out of that?
No, we're not. But it was so awesome, and I was able to find it on Amazon, so I can buy it there now. But it lasts me forever. Like, I don't know, probably way longer than it should. It probably, if it expires, it has. But I like it, and I use it. And so I thought maybe I'll get more, but then I was like, no, I don't need any more, which is where the Marmite came in. But it asked me if I wanted a subscription to it. You ever have that, like, when you buy something on Amazon and it asks you if you want to subscribe to it so you get it on a regular basis? Like, that's a lot of...
No, I don't.
And I'm like, that's a lot of commitment. Like, if you just all of a sudden had automatically jerk seasoning coming to your house on it.
What if you passed away and you just get like package after package of jerk seasoning coming? It's like, that's...
And your heirs are like...
Just add it to my ashes.
The executor of your will is like, well, we have no idea why these packages of Marmite and
we have 1,000 boxes of jerk seasoning. Amy passed away like 2 months ago, and she really liked it.
It just kept coming. All right, I know, all over the place.
That's all right. That's what our podcasts have been lately, and it's kind of fun because, we get to many different places to jump off and have conversations. So.
What have you been thinking about lately?
Not much. Really.
I said to Jeff, I'm like, why don't you jot down a few notes? If you have a few
I'm like,
notes,
yeah,
maybe.
sure, I will. And then I just don't. Because I just don't think of it at the time. But
well,
I will, though. I'll make a concerted effort to really do that.
You hear that, listeners? Jeff's going to make a concerted effort to make notes of things that are interesting to talk about.
Where did that come? Why did I say concerted effort?
Because people in concerts make effort.
I guess, yeah. The musicians need to work together. I don't know. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. And...
Yes, thanks so much for listening, everyone. It's been a good time, and say we're here for a good time, not a long time, but I think it was a long time this time. So
it was a long time.
I hope you come back around for the next time. Talk to you then.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening.
Be sure to check out past episodes and subscribe to keep up with what's new.
You can find us anywhere you get your podcast, and why not leave a review?
You can also follow Info Quench on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Till next time.